Agent Carter, all hands on deck.
I didn't know our government had such good taste in secretaries. What's your name, darling?
Agent.
Now, Miss Carter.
I go to work. Is that all you've got?
You look like a lady looking to dance.
I'm afraid I'd only step on your toes. You boys play nice.
Marvel's Agent Carter, an 8-part television event.
Hey YouTubers, Hankster here, and welcome to my review of the latest series from Marvel Comics, which of course was Marvel's Agent Carter, which ended its first season just this week. Now, of course, I say it's first season because it does leave itself open for a second season, apparently, with the little secret ending at the end of the credits, or what do you want to call it? Kind of like they do with the movies. So it kind of leaves itself open for a second season, or something, or maybe something leaves it on the movie. We're not sure, but something big's coming up involving Agent Carter. Let's give you a brief synopsis of the season. If you missed any of it, this might give you some spoilers, but just because being the season's over, you might catch it online or something like that. Now, of course, this takes place a year after the events of the first Captain America movie. She, of course, is still getting over the fact that Captain America is gone, supposedly gone, even though we do know what's going to happen to him decades later. And she'll find out herself when that time comes. She'll still be around when he gets freed from the ice. Of course, she herself is still with the organization she was in the first movie, even though now she's kind of downgraded from agent to pretty much the secretary. Even though she's still considered called Agent Carter, she's basically considered, she gets coffee and gets files and stuff like that. Not really doing any actual field work, along with the predominantly male members of the organization. It's even gotten so bad in her ego that the radio stations is of course playing Captain America radio show, and the person that's supposed to be her character has been pretty much played off as a 24-hour-a-day damsel in distress, as opposed to a woman that can fight along with Captain America. Being that this is 1946, and a lot of true sexist viewpoints are still being accepted, even though that during the war itself, a lot of women themselves have moved up into a lot of male positions, obviously because of most of the men were off to the war, and they they just needed to do all the heavy work that the men were leaving behind. And now that the men are back and they're getting their jobs back, and now, of course, women are getting themselves ambitious and trying to find jobs that they can be satisfied with themselves. And Agent Carter is no exception. She wants to be accepted, along with the rest of her teammates, not just to be some sort of coffee bringer, file bringer, or whatever. And, of course, her opportunity comes up when Howard Stark, who, of course, in the future will become the father of Tony Stark, a.k.a. Iron Man, is accused of selling his most dangerous weapons to the black market. Now, of course, he tries to defend himself, but he, of course, is being attacked by the United States government. And now he is forcing himself to go into hiding so that he somehow there's a way to find whoever's actually stolen his materials, and so that's actually the one selling it in the black market. Of course, he does take time to get to Carter, the only person he could trust, being that he's worked with her, mostly involving Captain America. And it's up to her to clear his name. And of course, it now becomes sort of a female James Bond type situation with crazy gadgets and foreign spies and people who seems more than meets the eye in this particular miniseries. Of course, that started back in mid-January. Now, of course, it's late February. At all purposes, this is a pretty good series. It kind of harkens back to the late 70s for me in the sense of the original Wonder Woman television series in the 1970s starring Linda Carter. Of course, obviously the episodes involving Wonder Woman in World War II, not the ones that she later take place in the late 70s, where she, of course, joined another sort of anti-espionage group in the United States. But this is, it kind of harkens back to that kind of era, women, strong women taking on the bad guys and all. Now, one thing I do like about this is, obviously it does harken back to Wonder Woman, but it also does that she's not only just taking on sexist views of the time, but she's also taking on not just male villains, but also female villains. There's, of course, a female assassin, which kind of leaves it open up to that's probably the same Russian organization that would create Black Widow in the future, before the end of the Cold War. This is basically, this time period, of course, is also the slow start of the Cold War between the United States and the Soviet Union, and all. So that's a little bit touched there. Of course, it does touch back also to Nazis. There's a couple of Nazis mentioned in this episode, including, of course, the one guy that we saw in the first Captain America movie, in the flesh, and then the second one, which, of course, this takes place in 2014, which, of course, he'd be long dead, because that's his computer program representation, I guess. It's the same character, pretty much, in those both instances that we saw at the end of this particular season of Agent Carter. And so obviously that's going to leave itself open to a possible second season in the near future, hopefully. It's not going to just drop on that, because obviously we got to find out how she and Tony Stark, not Tony Stark, but Howard Stark create, of course, what's going to become S.H.I.E.L.D. and all. So that's, obviously. Another interesting character I kind of liked was, of course, the character of Howard Stark, who, of course, later is known as the father of Tony Stark. If you look at him, and if you know your history, I guess it looks like they modeled him after real-life inventor slash millionaire playboy Howard Hughes, who, of course, he himself was an innovator in aeronautics and all that. And, of course, was also kind of a womanizer, too. So it's interesting that if you look at Howard Stark and look at Howard Hughes, they pretty much know where they got their ideas from for this character. And maybe even to an extent for Tony Stark as well, for the future there. Now, of course, obviously, there was a lot of other cameos in the movie. Of course, Captain America's army was also featured in an episode. Now, of course, the footage we saw with actual, Chris Evans, who of course plays Captain America in the movies, was of course just taken from the movie itself. It wasn't like new footage or anything like that they'd filmed for the TV show. So he's the only one from the movie that didn't actually appear on the television series. Of course, he's currently pretty much busy doing, Avengers, Age of Ultron, and then Civil War and all this other stuff, so I had to keep an eye out for that. But it's not a bad series. I've never even watched an episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I did watch this, and it's a good start for some in the future. Obviously, it's not just go. Probably, obviously, it's not going to just leave this hanging in the air, but. So to go keep our fingers crossed on that. So it was a good series. Hopefully it come out on DVD or Blu-ray or both in the near future. And I see that a lot of people did like my little intro to Agent Carter using classic Welcome Back Carter tune to that. See that there's a lot of people that watch that. But all in all, if it does come out on DVD and Blu-ray, check it out. Purchase it when you can and watch it. I believe episodes are, of course, still online, so you can catch that through ABC online, streaming and all that. And but it's good thing for Marvel to do is see what Captain America left behind and all before he was awakened in this time period and all that. So I hope you enjoyed this little review of Agent Carter, and I will be coming up with some more television series reviews. I'm going to do a review in the future about the Flash, first season of Flash, and of course the complete series of Arrow so far as well in the near future. And stay tuned here for more reviews and whatnot here on the Multiverse. See ya.